Once again, good evening to all. Right. So today we are going to talk about presentation skills. Presentation skills. So, without wasting any time, let's jump into the topic. What is presentation? What is presentation? While we are presenting something, what are the things we need to keep in mind? What kind of preparation we need to have beforehand while we are going to present the presentation? So these are all the concepts we are going to discuss today. Right? First, just think about what is presentation. You just give me what do you think about presentation. If you just look at the screen, you'll get the answer. Presentation is a form of speech in delivering the content in an effective manner. So it's nothing but it's a process of delivering the speech. It's a process of speaking simply. It's a process of monologue speech, right? So if it is conversation, then there will be dialogue. But here on the presentation, what happens is mostly it will be in the form of monologue, and we are going to speak on a particular topic. We are going to speak on a particular issue. That is what called as presentation, which can be adapted in various speaking situations, such as talking to a group, addressing a meeting, or briefing a team. So presentation generally happens in various situations, like whenever you are addressing the gathering, whenever you are talking to a group of people, whenever you are addressing or giving introduction or giving any kind of brief information about a particular issue, particular concept. In generally, whenever you need to give some inputs about a particular topic to your audience, these are all the areas we generally use presentations. Right now, you just give me one or two examples you know about the presentations. So where we can give the presentations. You just give me the areas where we can give the presentations. Yeah, Alokji.
Institution.
Very good. Institutions. Superb.
Hospital.
Hospitals. Superb.
Bank.
Bank. Correct. Yeah, I just remembered about one of my trainings. So I think a couple of months ago, I have given digital transactions. I have given a presentation on digital transactions, right? So in part of this Digital India, so I have given a presentations to the government employees who are working for a collectorate of a particular district, right? So there I have given a presentation on this usage of RuPay cards, credit card and debit cards. So what are the security issues would be there, and what is the right way to use them, and what is the difference between different cards. So how to educate and how to motivate the people to use digital transactions. So all those areas we have given a presentation. All right. Now, why and where we use this? So this, in the sense, it's nothing but presentation. Why and where we use this? To sell your product for best price. See, whatever the product we are selling, based on our presentation, we will decide the success rate. Right? So now let me give you one example. I got this message from one of my WhatsApp groups, right? So there is a huge company. It's like a Tata company. So if you talk about Tata company, so they will sell all goods, all the products, right? So from the pin onwards, they'll sell all types of even the huge products also they are selling. The similar kind of company is there. So they don't have given the name, it's just story, right? So in that company, there were thousands of employees working as sales executives, right? So one guy just joined today. Now he took the charge as a sales executive. He need to sell the products to the people. Okay. So everyone busy in selling the products, but this guy, this new person, he doesn't have the customers because he is new. So he has been looking here and there. After some time, he found a person. He approached that person and he was talking to them. So the manager came for rounds. He observed the new guy also engaged with the client, with the customer. So the manager felt very happy because even the new guy, new customer, sales executive also got one customer. So he felt very happy about it and he went on his way. All right. So 1 hour completed, 2 hours completed, 3 hours completed. Even the whole day came to an end. So by the evening, the manager again came for visiting. He found the new sales executive has been talking with the same old man, same person. Since the morning, he has been talking with the same person, right? Then the manager approached the sales executive and he is asking, how many sales have you done? How many customers have you spoken since the morning? He said, I spoke with only one person. Then the manager asked, are you mad? Since the morning you are talking with the same person. See, you can observe the seniors, they have been talking with multiple customers. They have been catching and they have been selling the products with to the multiple customers. Like that, he has been giving a little kind of lecture. Right? He has given a little lecture to this guy. Then the manager asked him, why this man came to our shop? What for he came to our shop? He said, sir, actually, he came to our shop to buy a needle. To buy a needle to mend his net. Actually, he is a fisherman. He came to our shop to buy a needle to mend his net. Then he said, after all a needle, you spent the whole day. Then he said, no, sir. I told him, instead of buying a needle, it's a good idea to buy a fishing rod. Then he said, okay, fine. For only fishing rod, you spent the whole day? Then he said, no, sir. I told him, if you fish from the seashore, you'll get few fishes. But if you go into the river or if you go into the ocean and if you cast your nets or if you cast your fishing hooks, then you will get more fishes. Then he said, okay, good. For that, what he bought? He said, for that, I suggested him to buy a boat. Then he asked, actually, I don't have that much of space. Then I suggested him to arrange a camp beside the river. So he bought all the requirements to set up a camp beside the river. Then he asked me, I don't have any vehicle to carry all these things. I told him to buy a huge truck. I suggested him to buy a huge truck. He bought the truck. Right? Now, see, this new salesman telling him, of course, sir, what you said is absolutely correct. I spoke with only one customer. But the products, how many products I sold, how much money we earned today, it's in more than lakhs. Right? So, actually, this guy only came for one needle, but he has given so many. He brainwashed him to buy a lot of things, right? Then the manager asked him, how did you do all these things? So there comes the joke actually. So in Andhra Pradesh, there are some corporate schools, right? So at the end of that message, they all mentioned that earlier I was working with so and so corporate school. That's why I know how to fish the people. Right? So this is a funny joke on corporate schools. See, in the corporate schools, actually, this is the pathetic truth. In the corporate schools, what happening? Unfortunately, we should say that, right? So these are all the teachers from various corporate schools. Not only in Andhra Pradesh, mostly in the world, happening the same thing, right? So they are the teachers, but what the job of teacher? What's the role of the teacher? They should teach. They should share the knowledge. But that's day by day that's been decreasing, and they have been becoming more professionals and more proficient than the sales executives. All right. So I have seen a lot of people who are working as teachers for more some corporate schools. Their profession is teaching, but rather than teaching, they are good at in sales executive. They can easily tap any kind of customer. They can easily tap any kind of even the difficult typical customers also they can handle easily, right? So when we spoke about this telephone etiquette, at that point of time, handling the customers also, I just have given you one idea, one suggestion, that if you are not able to handle the situation, then you can transfer the call to the manager. But if you talk about these guys, they don't need the managers. They can perform better than the managers. That much of experience, that much of patience they are habituated to do, right? So these are the things happening around the society. That is why we the people working for these kind of trainings, and these are we the people we have been working as teachers and trainers, we have been thinking about how to change these situations. The education system has been ruining day by day.
And
Right.
sir, in this that story, after getting the answer from employee, the manager gave the power of attorney to the employee and went to the corporate school for job,
Yes,
taking experience.
exactly. So he can get nice job, right? So even the manager, they don't know all these things. But if you work for corporate schools, you can learn anything. They'll ask you to work as a teacher. For example, let me give you my wife's example, right? Actually, she joined as a soft skills trainer in the school because my child recently she joined in a school, LKG. So that's why what happened is, to look after my baby, my wife also joined in the same school as a language proficiency trainer. Right? What happened? She knows English, biological science, and social studies. Right? So one day, what happened is, there was a meeting with the principal with all the staff members. So the principal asked one question to the biological teachers. So no one has the answer, but she knows the answer. She has given the answer. Then the principal requested, "Ma'am, why don't you take biological science to our students?" Right? She said, "Okay, sir, I'll take, no problem, but you should pay two salaries because I'm handling my subject and I need to handle another subject." Right? So one day what happened is, one of the social teachers, she was very close to my wife, right? So she requested her to look after the class for 1 hour. So that day she was teaching social studies. At that point of time, again the same principal saw the situation and he requested, "Why don't you teach social studies?" Then the next moment my wife called me and she asked, they have been urging me to teach biological science and social studies. Then I suggested my wife, "You just ask your principal, what are the requirements you have? Just make a list on that. I'll check the boxes. Whatever the subject I can teach, I'll take out all the subjects. So whatever the subjects I'm going to teach, you need to pay one salary for each subject." Then the principal said, "Even principal is not getting that much of money. How you are asking?" For one salary, you need to teach all the things. All right. So this is the really pathetic situation happening around. Exactly in mostly this is the worst scenario of education system. Right. We need to change this situation. If anyone asks me, we should reduce the number of corporate education institutions. By then only we will be able to find a little bit fruitful education, right? As far as my knowledge, so-called great intellectuals, so-called great personalities, whoever is known to the world, mostly more than 70% they are from government sector. Are you all agree with me? Right? More than 70% of great personalities, they never been to any corporate schools. In fact, there was no corporate schools at that point of time. That's why they are all great personalities. I have seen most of the students who secured 10 points in 10th class, intermediate, BTech level. So they got always they are toppers of the school. But after the education, they are all nothing but paupers of the school, paupers of the batch. They don't have any job. They don't know proper knowledge. They have the knowledge of book. They can give you even if you ask them any question, they can give you the number of the page, which page contains that question. But they don't have the common sense. They don't have the proper knowledge of the society. That is why they are not, see, if you observe the BTech education and MBA and all, every year, lakhs of people completing their graduations, but even it's not even thousands of people getting employed. Like this is the fact. If you ask most of the people, what did you study? They'll say, BTech. What are you doing? I'm working in a petrol bunk. What are you doing? I'm working in a sales. I'm working as a sales executive. Right? See, if you ask me, if you are a BTech student, you are engineering qualified person. You should work as an engineer. Otherwise, don't do that. Right? So whatever we study, if you are not able to do that job, then why should we study? Even the 10th class people are also doing. Most of the people we can find in Swiggy, Zomato and all, right? So to work as a salesman, to work as this kind of people, right? Salesman, what they need only 10th class qualification, right? The person who completed the 10th class, they are also doing the same job, and the people who completed MBA, MCA, they are also doing the same job. Then what's the difference? Right? There should be a difference. If you are educated in the same, it should be a difference. It doesn't mean that you should not do that job. You can do that, but actual job, you should do your actual jobs. Along with that, you can do anything. Right, Alokji, we had our best friend, your friend, Himanshu, right?
Yes.
He is doing his profession, simultaneously he is doing his passion. That is 100% acceptable. They can do anything, but they should never deviate from their actual core. So whatever they have studied, they should work on that. Then only they can do any business, anything they can do, right? So such kind of attitude we should improve in the children. All right, so topic is going off track. Right, come to
No. That's nice. Yes.
So to sell your product for best price, we should know how to sell that. So selling is nothing but how to demonstrate. So the demonstration is nothing but presentation. So if you give the best presentation, definitely you will get best price. Right? If the client is bargaining more, in the sense they are not satisfied. This is the best example we can give. If the customer is bargaining more times, in the sense, it doesn't mean that they don't have the money. If they don't have the money, they don't come to your shop. This is a simple thing we can understand. If I don't have the money, I'll never go to a shop. Why should I go with empty pockets? What can I do in the shop? Correct? If I'm going shopping in the sense, no doubt I have the money. Few cases, one or two cases are probably, one or two cases only if they don't have the money, they may bargain. But mostly the customer, whoever the customer, if they are choosing a product in the sense, definitely they'll check at once the price of the product. Correct? So though they know the price of the product, if they are bargaining in the sense, no doubt they are not satisfied with our explanation, demonstration. So we should create such a wonderful demonstration. Then only they'll buy for the best price. Right? To introduce your new product. Right? So do you know any one of the great personalities who can give great introductions, great presentations on the new products? So I know a person, yeah, I know a person known as the master of presentation. He's been called by, I mean, he's been known as the master of presentation skills, master of presentations. He's a world famous personality.
Yes, definitely.
He's a world famous personality, and mostly he is in black color t-shirts. He can remember. Alokji can easily remember because he's from technical background. He is known for his brand.
Either Microsoft, Zuckerberg, or Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, known as the master of presentation. If he gives any presentation, no one can deny that. The way he speaks, the way he gives the examples, the way he delivers, the choice of words also. Automatically, the whole audience mesmerized with his presentations. That's why whatever the brand he is releasing to the market, almost complete success, 100% success. Right? So that kind of presentations we should give. Right? If you want to become a great personality, or if you want to become a great presenter, you just watch Steve Jobs videos. You just listen to his speeches, then automatically we will also become like that. Right? Next, to implement your ideas. For example, if you are working as an engineer, or if you are working as a team lead, in that case, you need to explain your ideas to your subordinates. Then only you can implement your ideas. Correct? So to implement your ideas, you need presentation skills. Next, to promote your business. To promote your business, we need presentation skills. If you have the good presentation, then automatically you can improve your business. To analyze something. To analyze something, we need presentations. Right. So simply we can say, anywhere you can use it. We can't restrict only for these bullet points. It is universal. You can implement the presentation skills anywhere. For example, wife and husband, there is a conflict between the wife and husband. All right. If the wife has been pointing at the husband, you have committed this, then the husband can demonstrate properly. Then automatically wife will become the beautiful. Correct? So everywhere we can use this. If, for example, children is not listening to us, if we demonstrate them properly, then automatically they'll come to our track. Right? So what I observed in my baby, in my daughter, is if you shout at her, they'll also respond the same way. They'll also try to shout at us. Right? If you talk slowly and if you talk friendly, whatever you say, mostly she'll do that. So this is what the weakness I observed in my daughter. Whenever I get angry, mostly I don't show that, and I'll try. You are such a beautiful daughter. You are really good. Then automatically she'll listen to me, and what she does is, she'll say in the reply, as the reply, she'll say, "Love you, daddy." Like that. See, the moment when we speak friendly and when we speak to them in a very softer manner, automatically they feel happy and they'll do whatever we are expecting to do. right? So this is the secret I found in my daughter. So you can use these kind of techniques to play with your children, right? As far of my knowledge, shouting and beating, it's never give any result, correct? They don't give any result, right? So what is the best way for presentation? If you want to give the presentation, what you need, what is the best way, what is the best choice? So as I said yesterday, you just need to follow an equation that is nothing but 4P method. 4P method. So what is mean by 4P method? P, first P stands for plan. Second P stands for prepare. Third P stands for practice. And then fourth P stands for perform. So if you practice this formula, automatically you will be able to rock whatever you want to do, right? So this method, this 4P method, can be implemented in any parts of your life. Not only in your professional life, even you can apply this 4P method in your personal life, right? Even whatever the situation, whatever the things happening around us, if you want to cope up with that, if you have this 4P method in your hand, then automatically you will be able to do it well. For example, if you are feeling distressed, just plan how to overcome that. Prepare, observe the circumstances, find out the solutions, practice them. Practice is nothing but, so whatever the solutions you are able to, so you just jump onto the solutions. Then automatically that will be your performance. You know the problem, you know the solutions, you picked up the solution, then automatically problem gone. So this is the way how we should go on, right? So this is the way how, this is the best way to deliver any presentation, right? So this is what I have given a little bit classification of presentation skills, right? So presentation skills, it's nothing but if you just follow 4P method, then so I have given what are the 4P method: plan, prepare, practice, and perform, right? So what do you need to plan? Time. What is the time? How much time you need, right? So how much time you need to focus on that? At what time you should have a goal? At what time you should overcome that problem if you're thinking about problem? So at what time, particular time, you should decide a particular time. By this time I should be there. By this time I should overcome this problem. By this time I should complete my training. By this time I should start. By this time I should complete. By this time I have to give these examples, right? When to start, when to stop, everything you should know, right? Then only you will be able to understand. That is what the point of planning. And audience, you should, for example, if you are giving any presentation, you should think about the audience. How many audience are going to be there? What is the shape and the structure of the audience? How they are going to sit, right? So the shape of the auditorium, everything should be there in your mind. So that's why whenever we are going to talk about the presentation skills, we used to suggest one concept to the people who are going to give the presentations. They should visit the auditorium. They should visit the stage where they are going to perform at least before one day. If you go and visit the place wherever you are going to give your presentation tomorrow, if you go and visit beforehand, then automatically you will be able to understand. So what are the things are there? When to start, when to stop, how to start, how to stop, everything you will come to know that by observing the auditorium, the area where you are going to give the presentation, and the preparation, source of information. So you need to think about the sources. Whatever the situation, whatever the presentation you are giving, you need to think about the sources. So from where I get this solution. So for example, you need to deliver a topic. You need to deliver a presentation on a particular topic. You need to think about that. So what is the topic? From where I get this information? You can search for internet, you can browse the internet, and you can search, you can refer the books, you can go for library, you can talk with people, whatever the source you are getting. You just find out the source and you just need to collect the information. That is what called preparation. In the preparation, one more thing you need to keep in mind, teaching aids. So whenever you are giving the presentation, you need to think about the aids. Aids is nothing but the things, implements, whatever the implements you are going to use in your presentation. For example, for teaching, if it is face-to-face mode, classroom teaching, then we need to think about the place, and then the board, markers, chalkpieces, whatever it may be, dusters, if you need charts. So to think, to give your presentation, what are the concepts, what are the stationery you need? That is what called aids. And then practice. So whatever you are going to, whatever you planned, whatever you prepared, you need to practice that. So in the practice, you need to think about your body language, how to present. So delivering the presentation is also a difficult task. So for that, there are certain points we need to keep in mind, like body language. So how your body language should be. So how you should stand, how you should sit, how you need to use your gestures, postures, facial expressions, eye contact. Everything should be there in your mind. You should check out all these things. How to dress, right? Everything has been included in body language. And then practice, second type, self and team, right? So the preparation part completed, then the practice. You need to practice yourself. You can practice alone and you can practice with the team. So practicing alone is nothing but you can stand before the mirror and you can talk to yourself face to face. You can talk to yourself in front of mirror, right? So while you are talking to yourself in front of mirror, your audio, your voice should be audible to your ears, right? You should audible to yourself. Then only you'll be able to identify your flaws, your mistakes, right? Whatever the mistakes you are able to identify, then just overcome them. You can try to eliminate the mistakes, avoid the mistakes, right? With the team. So try to remember one particular point. Whenever you are practicing with the team, there should be a true friend. A true friend means, a real friend means, they should give your pros and cons. So most of the people who were so-called friends, what they used to do is, whatever you are doing the best way, they used to say, yes, superb, awesome, good, 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 always good. They don't give you the actual facts. So if someone is giving you always, if someone always praising you, if someone always talking about your positive side, in the sense, don't forget that they are not your good friends. They are just friends, they are not good friends. A good friend only can talk about your positives and negatives. If someone is talking about your positives and negatives, in the sense, they are caring you. They are caring about your development. So we should make friendship with such kind of people only. Some people, they used to say, always they used to boast the people. You are super, you are awesome, like that. They used to boast the people. So those who are always boasting, in the sense, they are digging under our knee. I mean, digging beneath us, right? We should never trust them, right? Definitely one day they are going to pull our legs. So be careful with such kind of people. All right, next, performance. So performance, it might be individual performance, it might be the team performance. Sometimes you need to give the presentation with your team members. So all together. So for example, if you have given one topic, take software engineers. Most of the software companies, they used to follow the same way, right? So they'll give a project. So based on the project, they'll assign a team of people. So there will be a team lead, team members. So they'll distribute the work into different segments and then they all work on together. At the end of the project, they'll all assemble the whole data and they'll give the presentation. This is what called team presentation. So individual presentation, in the sense, you are the sole person. From the start to end, you need to give the presentation. There will be no companion to you. That is what individual presentations. Yesterday, we all had individual presentations. If you want to give the presentations with the team, so then I'll give you one topic to all the three members. You can prepare yourself, then you can deliver that. But team presentations in this platform, mostly it may be a little bit difficult, right? But if you want to try at once, then we will plan that maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. What do you say? Right. Next. So how to plan? Right. So you need to plan time. You need to plan audience. So the time. What is your given time? How much time you have assigned? For example, if you are giving any presentation, you need to think about that. How much time you have assigned? Right. For example, if you have given 1 hour time, you can stretch your topic. If you have given 1 hour time, then you can talk a little lengthy topic. If you have given only 5 minutes time, even in 5 minutes, we should talk about the topic. So whatever the time we have given, as per the time, we need to plan. That is what
One
called
thing I
plan.
want to ask, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing I want to ask.
Yes.
Many a time we go for intro talk of our course, Art of Living course. We give talk in many institutions, in banks, and in a group. They like our talk too much. They feel relaxed when we took meditation. Everything was okay. They feel good, but even though registrations are not coming, what will be the reason? Do you think?
Most probably, ma'am, the way we are delivering or the timings may not be suitable for them. Right? If sometimes, are you taking the feedbacks from the people who are attending?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
Many a times we take feedback, and they feel very relaxed, very nice. But still, when we tell them about our course and donation, the many a times they tell us that they don't have time. Main
Right.
issue was about time, because in the morning when we take course in the morning, they tell us, oh, it is very difficult to wake up at the early in the morning because our course is 6 to 9, 6 to 8. Because if we put our course timing little bit late, then they should not, they won't become because of office timing from 10 to 5.
Yes.
And if we put timing early in the morning, they said, oh, it's very early, I won't woke up.
Yeah. So here,
So many reasons they are telling us, sir.
yeah. So for such kind of people, we can't be able to do anything now. So mostly what happens is there will be different aspects um, generally raised in this registration process. Mostly the time, and the second thing is
Yes.
lack of interest, and the third thing
Yes,
is the
lack of
revenue.
interest, because nobody is interested in spiritual path. Actually, this is true.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Most of the people, they used to say, if we speak about the spirituality and all, they look at us a little different, because they don't know the actual essence and the actual beauty of that life.
Yes.
And whenever they are in the need, then only we will be able to help them out.
It means I know one thing, and I heard this also, and I feel that is true. When the man is sick, then he will go to doctor. Just like that, when man go in the adverse situation, or he will be sad, at that time someone say him that you do meditation, you will be relaxed, or you will get peace of mind. At that time only the person come, I think so.
Exactly, this is true.
मतलब ऐसा हिंदी में कहती है कि अगर दुखी हो तो भगवान के पास जल्दी जाता है वो, इस टाइप का. Yes.
So we should, yeah, this is actual thing happening around everywhere, right? So if they are interested, then automatically they'll come. But what we can do is we should give the best presentation.
Yes, I every time I will give with a new enthusiasm.
Yeah. Right, good.
But in group and presentation was is good, but still registration are very less.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
And I feel one thing, sir, when we go give our talk in minimum people 8 to 10, where eye contact is done, their registration are more.
Yes.
And when we give our intro talk in a big group, registrations are very less.
Yeah.
This thing I notice.
Very good. Very good. All right. Next, what is the situation you are presenting? So we need to think about the situations also. See, the current affairs also will reflect on our presentation. So whatever the topic we are presenting, we should think about that, whether the topic is relative, relevant to the situation or not. We should think about it. If it is not relevant, then automatically it can't work out. So for example, the people are in a mood of, in a hurry to leave that program. If they are waiting, for example, the office timings from morning 9 to evening 5, right? So what we need to do is, for example, at 4:35 or 4:45, if you start any presentation, do they pay much attention to listen to us?
No.
Mostly no, because
No. Yes.
their mind always started thinking about leaving the office. So we need to think about the situation, whether the presentation is suitable to that situation or not. Based on that only we should plan the program. Right. Next, type of presentation, short or lengthy presentation, we should think about that. So whether it is a short presentation or lengthy presentation. So most of the people, I have seen one great personality. He is one of my former principals of one college, right? So whenever he gets the mic, he never think about the audience, whether the audience are listening to him, whether the audience are really dying, he never bother about them. Once he got the mic, he used to start talking. Once he starts, never stops. Even the people are clapping for him to stop. Even the people are shouting for him to stop. Nothing can work out with him. Right? Whenever he wants to stop, then only he'll stop. That kind of persons also will be there. So we should think about the presentation, whether it is a short presentation, whether it's a lengthy presentation. We should think about it, and we have to plan according to the time. Right. Focus on break times. So this is a very important aspect. Whenever we are delivering the presentation, mostly we always focus on the good start and good conclusion, but we never bother about the in between. Right? So while we are conducting the program, while we are giving any presentation, we need to think about the break times. So when should we stop? When should we give a break? When should we give a tea break? When should we conduct activities? When should we give a little kind of gap? Everything should be in a proper plan, proper order. Then only we will be able to complete our task successfully. Right. Next, chunking is the best solution for lengthy presentation. So chunking means small parts. For example, if we need to conduct a 2-hour or 3-hour session, right? In that case, if we conduct 3 hours at a stretch, do you think that that person will continue in the next time?
No.
Mostly they can't, because no one can survive for 3 hours continuous training. So in that case, what we can do is, for half an hour, one chunk, then conduct one activity, then half an hour, one chunk, then give a small break for them. It might be for a drink break or tea break, whatever it may be. So give a break, then half an hour. So best way is, ideal way is, give half an hour breaks. Even in half an hour also, if the people are feeling little bored, then give a break. No need to continue with the topic, then give a break. The break, it doesn't mean that you should leave them. The break can be a joke. The break can be any activity, but it should bring them back. It should bring them back to the track, actual track. Okay. So these are the ways. Generally, this is the process can be known as chunking process. So chunking means small boxes. For example, you have 1 hour training. If you have 1 hour presentation, in that 1 hour, how to divide that into different parts, small parts. That is what called chunking process. So we need to think about all these things when you are talking about time. Now come to the audience. We need to focus on mode and mood of audience. We need to think about the audience, how they are feeling, how they are in the sense, how they are feeling. Are they feeling really interested? For example, as I said just now, so if we conduct before 15 minutes early to leave the office, if we conduct any presentation, most they can't pay any attention. right? So at least 1 hour before we should plan for the presentation. Then only they'll be able to sit in your uh, gallery. Then only they'll be sitting in your gallery. Otherwise, they always, of course, the body will present, but the mind will absent. That's what happens generally, right? So we need to focus about the mood and mode of audience, and then know your audience before presentation. For example, whenever you are going to give the presentation, if you have any opportunity, if you could understand the knowledge of the audience, you try to understand the audience beforehand. For example, tomorrow you are going to give a presentation to one company. You need to think about them. Who are the audience? What are their levels? What are their knowledge levels of that topic? So, for example, you are going to a bank. So, whenever you are going to a bank, before you are going to give the delivery or presentation, you need to think about the employees. Who are they? What is the topic you are going to deliver to them? How much knowledge do they have? So everything we should think about it, and we should plan accordingly and create interactive or active conversation. Whenever we are giving the presentation, maximum we should create interactive way. If we create interactive way, then automatically they'll come to us again, right? So Vasudha ma'am, by the next time, whenever you are conducting these kind of trainings, try to create a little interaction to themselves, right? So there should be an interaction between the participants. There should be an interaction between the participant with the trainer also. Then only they'll focus more. For example, if I put you all mute continuously, if I speak the whole day, the next day will you join the training? You feel
No.
boring, yeah.
No.
He continuously talking. He's not even letting us to talk. You know, I leave it. So this is what the general tendency of the audience. So what we need to do is we need to create a little interest. So if we create an environment where they can start talking to themselves, then automatically the next time they'll become the friends. So one friend bring the next friend. Right? This is the best way we can bring the audience. We can bring them to the right track. All right. Now come to the second concept. Prepare. So source of information, you need to think about the source of information. Right. So I'm stopping here as the time is running out. So tomorrow we will continue this topic.